Hey guys, 𝗙𝗏 here, back with another video, yet another one. It's almost like I have a YouTube channel or something. How's everyone doing out there? I'm doing great. We're in full swing of autumn here. The leaves are changing. The weather's getting drizzly. And we have like on and off kind of sunny, crisp days, switching between like kind of overcast, drizzly days, which I love both. So anyway, that was the weather report. So I'm back here with another viewer comment video. This one is a little more generally titled because there isn't really any kind of theme that comes out of these. You know, I picked a few juicy ones from recently, and I think they're pretty good, instructional, and it'll be beneficial to all of you out there, hopefully, when I read them and pick them apart, which is what I like to do, right? It makes this channel fun. I think you guys really respond to these viewer comment videos, and I like that. So let me just jump right into it. This first one is from 𝗙់𝗬𝗏, and she writes, "This content is amazing, 𝗙𝗏, thank you. Listening to you has really helped me recover from my breakup like 200% faster than I otherwise would have. I'm working on myself every day, going to the gym, ice skating, dancing, chilling, taking up Japanese again." That's pretty cool, Japanese, wow. I'm having a blast generally. And with regards to my specific person, I tend to think the cake's in the oven, one day I'll know it's done. I think you heard that here. Don't put your finger in the cake, it's in the oven. Don't interfere with the process. Don't micromanage or try to micromanage. Let the universe take care of it. You put your request out there, you put your order in to Amazon, just wait for the package to arrive, all right? Don't keep checking on it. That's what that means. Only thing is, there's always a but. Only thing is, if you can believe it, as I have more and more fun every day, I'm starting to kind of forget about this guy, /X, that I've been so obsessed with. Well, that's fantastic. I can't believe that at all. I can't believe that you were starting to focus on yourself, and as a result of that, you kind of forgot about this guy and you forgot to be obsessed with him. You didn't remember to be obsessed with your specific person. How dare you, having fun in your life like that? Whoever would give you that kind of advice? Awful. Anyway, I forgot. I'm starting to kind of forget about this guy that I've been so obsessed with. And in doing so, I sometimes worry that I should be like visualizing more or affirming more or somehow trying more to manifest him so that it will happen faster. Now, see, this is precisely the kind of energy and the kind of focus and the kind of thinking and mindset that you want to move away from. This is the point of focusing on yourself, right? If you're obsessing over somebody, love is not obsession. Obsession is not love. It's not the same thing, okay? Obsession is obsession. And what it usually means is you're using this as an excuse to either feel badly about yourself or to put off all the things that you can do right now to make yourself happy without their presence in your life. But you've been doing that. You've been going to the gym, you've been doing this, you've been learning Japanese, and you kind of forgot to be obsessed about this guy. And you think now, you're thinking, but I should be obsessed with this guy. I haven't thought about him in a while. Something must be wrong. Well, let me ask you something. Did anything happen while you were obsessed with this guy? Were you happy while you were obsessing over this guy? What was your state of mind? What was a regular day like in your life when you were in the mode of obsessing over this guy? Probably not very good, right? Probably not, your life wasn't that fun. But now you're making your life fun. You're making it about yourself. You don't need to go back to the obsession. You don't need to go back to the, oh, I should affirm, I should visualize so it'll happen faster, especially if your intention is to make it happen faster, because not are you then going back to visualizing or affirming from a more sort of, you know, let it happen kind of attitude, relaxed, chilled out attitude, a more of a downstream, floating downstream kind of attitude, right? Take it as it comes kind of attitude. Then you're going back to an attitude of, well, I got to do this so it will happen, because if it's not happening, then I'm not happy. But look, you are happy. You are doing things for yourself. You're out there being about yourself. You're out there learning things. You're taking care of your body. You're doing things that are fun. You see what I'm saying? So you see, and you're teaching yourself and showing yourself right now that you can be happy without him being in your life. So why would you want to go back to obsessing about him and being miserable and making everything in your life about him? Well, that didn't bring you anything, but this new way of thinking brought you at least this thing so far, which is being a happier, more complete, more focused, more balanced person, okay? Participating in your life. So don't go back to that. If you're going to visualize at this point, if you're going to affirm again at this point about him and put the focus back on him, do it from a place of not needing anything to happen. You don't need it to happen faster. In fact, you don't need it to happen at all, but you would like it to happen. That's the attitude you want to approach this with. I'm having so much fun in my life, I'm not even thinking about that guy. But you know, it would still be nice if he came around. It would still be nice if I had another chance with him. Still be nice if we dated again. But I don't need it to happen. And from that standpoint, from that set point, you go, okay, well, now I can reintroduce some of these techniques and some of this visualizing and affirming and focusing on the end result of what it is I ultimately want with this guy, right? So you do it from a place of already feeling good about yourself, about your life, being relaxed, being chilled out. You don't need it, but you want it, okay? Don't go back to the needing it to happen. Don't go back to the obsessing, because then you're going like, oh, I'm not obsessing, so now nothing's gonna happen. It's quite the opposite, and you'll see. And in doing, okay, so I'm starting to kind of think, forget about this guy, and then I thought I should be trying more to manifest so it will happen faster. But then I'm like, meh. Love that, whatever. I'm too lazy to visualize now. I'm just having so much fun. I'm having so much fun, I'm, you know, exhausting myself. I'm feeling lazy now. Who cares visualizing? And that's fine. That's a great attitude to have. I'm having way too much fun just lying here and slumbering and staring at the ceiling and feeling relaxed and cool, right? That's perfect attitude. I'm too lazy to visualize that right now. I'd rather go dance more salsa, and if he ever comes, he comes. Beautiful. I'm having fun dancing salsa, relaxing, enjoying myself, learning Japanese. I'd like him to come. If he doesn't, I'm having fun anyway, all right? And that's the attitude that will manifest things for you. But don't go back into the trap of, well, it hasn't happened yet, and when's it going to happen? It's easy to go back into that trap. Keep practicing and doing what you've been doing here. Keep practicing that kind of mindset, okay? And if your urge is to think about him and do affirmations and visualizing out of a sense of, I should probably do this so it'll happen faster, then avoid doing that from that standpoint, from that mindset, and then go back to doing what you've been doing, enjoying your life, participating in your life, learning things, picking up hobbies, and then when you're kind of like, oh, maybe I want to visualize about him because it feels good. It's visualizing about him right now or affirming is going to make this moment even better. It's not because I feel like I need to do it to make something happen. It's fine that he comes. It's fine that he doesn't come. I'm okay. If he doesn't come, somebody else that's awesome will come, and I'll be really happy about that. You see what I'm saying? So that's the mindset you want to have when you go back to visualizing and doing affirmations. That's the kind of mindset, and that's the mentality from which you want to be doing it. I'd rather go salsa dancing. The only thing I can say here, specific person aside, if living in the end means being happier and more independent and just plain having fun, at least I'm living in the end in this way. And I think I feel a lot better than I did in my situationship. I like that, situationship with that dude. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I mean, yes, it is living in the end. But here's the thing. If you're okay with him being there or not being there, but again, like I said, you approach it from the standpoint of, I'd like it if he was there. It'd be better if he was there, but it's fine without him too right now. Then when you have him back, when you're in a relationship with him, you'll still have that kind of attitude because you're more confident, you're more about yourself, you don't need other people to validate you so much, you don't need other people as an excuse to be happy with your life, to feel good about yourself so much, and then he can come in and you can have a healthy, balanced relationship with him that is predicated on mutual understanding and love and respect, and unconditional love and respect, and not about an obsession. You see what I'm saying? So then that is living in the end. So if you were back with him, you wouldn't even worry about visualizing or any of that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be, yes, it is living in the end. And like I said before, from the standpoint of already enjoying your life and not obsessing about him at all and not feeling like you need to do something to make this happen, from that standpoint, you can then begin to reintroduce visualizing about him, okay? Living in the end result from the standpoint of, well, what if I was in a relationship with him right now with this new attitude that I've adopted and practiced myself into? What would that relationship look like? What would that relationship feel like? Then you can do that, okay? I lost my place here. I just still have trouble sometimes changing my story and giving unconditional love or visualizing a different scenario when the situation with the specific person was actually worse than the situation without him. So that's an interesting comment, because you're kind of saying, like, I'm having way too much fun without him. So how, you know, it's almost like my life is better now without him than it was with him. But probably what was happening is that you were obsessing about him when you were with him, or at the very least after you guys whatever broke up or whatever ended up happening there, which is unimportant. But kind of what's going on here, maybe there's something's going on where you're sort of saying, well, I was unhappy, and I used this person, this individual, as an excuse to continue to feel unhappy, and as an excuse to, not like myself and not enjoy my life and not be confident. In other words, I was putting all the pressure of my happiness and my fulfillment and my love for myself and feeling good about myself on this individual. But now that I'm learning not to do that, that I don't need this individual as an excuse to do that, to have a happy, joyful life, it's almost like I don't need him anymore for that. So then now what, right? So the question here that I have for you is, did you ever really love him in that sense? Or in the sense of, like, was it obsession or was it love? And now that the need for the obsession has dissipated as a result of you changing your focus and putting it back on yourself and constructing the happiest, most fun, awesome, loving life that you can for yourself, the need for the obsession has faded, hasn't it? So you're kind of having to go back to the drawing board a little bit and understand, well, what does a relationship of any kind, never mind just with this individual, but what does a relationship of any kind look like and feel like through this new lens that I'm wearing, that I'm looking at life through, right? Through this new lens of self-acceptance and being okay and being relaxed and being chilled out and enjoying myself and learning and picking up hobbies that I'm passionate about. I'm having so much fun, it's almost like I don't even need anybody there to enjoy myself. And see, what's happening there is when you reach that point, it's like a blank slate for you right now, right? You can reintroduce from that perspective visualizations about him and affirming about him and really going for the relationship with this specific person. Or you can really fill in the slate, the canvas, with anything that you want at this point. My recommendation to you would be to just not really make it about him yet, right, at this point, but just become very general now at this point. Just still enjoy your life, go about doing all the things you were doing that really, like, lifted you up and really brought you into a new perspective and shifted you into a new way of being, because that's what's happened. You have shifted now. You have actually shifted into a different version of yourself than you were before. You're not that person anymore that was obsessing over him. You're now a different version of you. You're a different Ira, okay? You're the Ira who's relaxed, who's confident, who's enjoying her life. You're not the Ira who needs this representation through this individual in order to feel good about yourself or your life. You see what I'm saying? Now, that Ira continues to exist in another dimension, in another parallel reality, where she's still obsessing over this dude and is not learning Japanese and going salsa dancing and just relaxing and chilling out and having fun in general, right? So this new Ira that you have shifted into now, this new focus and perspective that you've shifted into now, this new self that you've shifted into, is going to have different needs and different expectations out of life and different desires than that old Ira has. You see what I'm saying? Or not the old Ira, the other Ira that you've now shifted your focus away from. So now, what does this new version of Ira want? And if it's not the same guy or the same kind of relationship you had with him, that's okay. You can let that be okay. And you can sit down and, write it out if you need to, or really just do some meditating on it. Well, what is it I want now? Because I'm somebody new. I've expanded. All right, I've grown. So as this new version of myself, what does this version of myself want out of life? What does this version of myself want out of a relationship? What kind of partner do I want? You can fill in the canvas at this point with anything that you want. And you don't have to make it about him. Or at the very least, you can take all the best qualities that he had, and then you can add that into the mix, and then come up with some new qualities that maybe he didn't have, that your next relationship, your next awesome person is going to have. You see what I'm saying? So approach this because you're a different person now as a result of having shifted, actually shifted into a new version of yourself. You need to become in touch with that version of yourself that you have become now because you've expanded. So the old desires are no longer going to meet the needs of the new Ira. You see what I'm saying? So be okay with letting it go. If you feel the need to let it go, and be okay with jumping in the water and venturing out and formulating a new desire, and you can build a brand new relationship from scratch with somebody completely new that hasn't even shown up in your reality yet, and then watch what happens. Somebody will show up and knock your damn socks off. It's happened to me plenty of times, okay? So just understand, you're not that person anymore. And part of you is still feeling a little bit insecure about that maybe, just a touch, like, I don't know that these new shoes, this new skin I'm in, right, feels a little odd. Maybe I should go back to the old Ira, but don't do that, right? Because that's like saying you've pushed your comfort zone, and it still feels a little bit odd, but it'll become your new comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? You'll get used to it, and then you'll go, oh, I don't want that anymore, that the old version of me wanted. I want something new now. Figure out what that is, okay? I'll keep watching your videos. Please do. Let's see if getting even healthier and happier will allow me to give unconditional love to this person that hurt me. Like I said, it can be that person. You'll attract a new version of him as well if you want to keep it about him, but you have to do it from the perspective that you've now adopted. You have to do it from the perspective of this new shifted Ira, right? This new version of yourself. You can attract a different version of him that will match this new version of you, or really you can say, I don't need that anymore, or I don't need it to be a specific person at all anymore right now. I don't need this specific symbol anymore. I can totally just go to the universe, hey, this is the new me, this is my new perspective, I've shifted into something different, I'm going to figure out what it is I want now, and I'm giving that to you, and you just bring me the person that matches that perfectly. And I've done that. I've made lists like this, and then 2 months later, I'm dating that exact person. You see what I'm saying? And then you just go back to what you've been doing, because you've been doing fantastic. Okay. So this next one, thank you for that, by the way, Ira. This next one is from Natasha. Hello, another one from Natasha. Well, she does not have an SP related question, but it's a good one. Tarkan, I have a question, non-SP, non-specific person related. How about that? Weird. I am manifesting either an E3 visa and or winning the green card lottery for the United States. I am a member to multiple Australians living in the NYC USA groups on Facebook. I was chatting with one lady via comments, and she said she never believed she would win the DV lottery. I guess that's the visa lottery. She thought it would take years, and she won on her first application. How do those who have no faith or belief receive their desires? She clearly had negative thoughts towards it. This always confuses me about manifesting desires. Well, I've said many times in other videos, you don't need to have complete faith and belief and desire in your manifestation in order to manifest it. To me, desire and belief is not a prerequisite, and it's not a deal breaker if you don't have it in utter abundance or even any of it, okay? Belief, in my view, comes as a byproduct of just manifesting and becoming more aware and learning more about your abilities and your power to create your reality. And as you see more evidence coming in from your third dimensional mirror, physical reality mirror, as you're manifesting more intently and you become better at it, belief just builds as a byproduct of that, as a result of that, okay? And then as the belief builds, yes, that gives you more manifesting muscle, and down the road, it makes your manifesting easier and much more smooth, right? And things come to you quicker and more efficiently. But that's kind of the day when you have the belief to the level of where you believe the sun is going to come up tomorrow and is going to set in the evening, okay? There's nobody, I don't think it's out there that doesn't believe that's going to keep happening. But so it's that kind of a thing. You don't look for the sun to come up. You don't see when it's going to go away, right? You just notice, you're just kind of going through your day and you're just kind of manifesting things left and right. Something will pop up and you'll go, oh, that's a desire. I'd like that. Okay, cool. And then, you know, later down the road, sometime you'll notice it manifesting and you just kind of go, oh, wow, that's how things happen. Just like the sun comes up in the morning and it goes back to bed at night, just like I do, okay? That's how manifesting will become to you, and that's how you'll know you have complete 100% belief and faith in these things. But you don't need it right now. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can manifest things that you want without having all that faith and that belief, okay? Often enough, when you don't have enough faith and belief, all that's really required, like the person like Ira in the previous comedy, you just have to kind of let go. That's why we teach people who are having that sort of obsessive kind of behavior or attitude towards their desire manifesting to just take their focus off their desire for a while and put it on themselves and put it on things and activities that they love and make them feel good and have fun in life, okay? Because as you do that, what you're doing is you're just ceasing the feeding, you're stopping the feeding of your resistance, okay? I was trying to formulate how to say that best. What you're doing is you're no longer feeding your resistance at that point. You don't need to constantly feed your belief. So oftentimes when you already are kind of like unsure about this manifesting stuff and you don't feel very confident about it, it's a little bit much to bite or to chew, bite off. You're chewing more than you can bite off, something like that. I crisscrossed up here. The thing is, it's a little too much to ask, especially when you first sort of like, you're still in that kind of mode of like, I don't know, and you know, if this works, and I'm obsessed about my desire, and when's it going to happen, and yada yada, and you've got all this resistance. For the time being at that point, it's enough to just let go of the resistance, okay? And then as you do, you start noticing things flowing easily, and your manifestations start kind of coming together, and that's the process. That's the thing that's going to build your faith, so to speak, your belief, and then you just become better and better at that until you've trained yourself into a new belief system that this stuff really works, and that it works all the time, okay? Well, that's for down the road. That's for like when you kind of really start to master this stuff. So don't push yourself into needing to believe right now or needing to have 100% faith. I know other teachers and books and coaches say that, but I really think it's a mistake because especially when you're approaching somebody who's like still very, very like tightly holding on to their desire and thinking that's the only thing that's going to make them happy, and they're forgetting to live their life, and they're forgetting to just be about themselves and be joyous and feel good most of the time. You know, it's enough to just do whatever you can at that moment to remove your attention on the resistance part of it, okay? But you don't need to completely build up 100% belief, you know, because there's a misunderstanding around that. We tell people you got to believe in your manifestation, then they get even more freaked out because now they go, well, I don't believe in it. I didn't believe in it for 5 minutes today, so it must not be happening. And I don't want to encourage that kind of thinking, okay? Because it's just a false premise to me. You can absolutely manifest things without having all that belief. The only thing, but you build the belief in the process of learning this stuff, in the process of manifesting and becoming more aware and conscious about it, okay? Doing it more deliberately than you did before, because we're always manifesting. We're always manifesting. We're doing it by default. default, most of us out there. When you come to these teachings and to this understanding of like reality creation and manifesting and hey, I can really do this stuff, that's how you build your belief. That's how you build the evidence, collect the evidence through your experiences and go, ah, it works. I see now, it works. You see what I'm saying? And that will build your belief muscle, so to speak. It will make things easier and more efficient down the road, but it's not necessary right now. Also, and you said here, she clearly had negative thoughts towards it. Well, I don't see that it's that clear from your comment. What you wrote here was that she never believed she would win the lottery and she thought it would take years. I don't see that as being necessarily negative. It's not like she was sort of sitting around and crying about it. Maybe she was, I don't know. But from your comment, I don't necessarily see it as a given that she was putting negative focus into it. What I do see here is that that attitude of like, it may never happen or it could take years was kind of her letting go of needing it to happen. You see the difference? And it can be a subtle difference. There's the idea of, my life is terrible. If this doesn't happen, everything will go to shit and my life will be miserable and I'll be the most unhappy person on the planet. There's a difference between that attitude and this attitude, which is, well, it might happen. I don't really believe that it's going to happen. It could take years, but oh well. You see what I'm saying? Do you see the difference there? And do you feel the difference there? The first option, the first way of thinking and focusing is very resistance oriented, right? The second option is like, well, I don't believe this is going to happen, but I'm kind of okay with it. And sometimes that attitude of just kind of giving up, and maybe it's pessimism too, or maybe it's not having 100% belief, but it's kind of like going, I'll play the lottery anyway, even though I'll probably never win, is different than I need to play the lottery every day so I can win, because if I don't win, my life is going to be awful. Do you see the difference? The first is offering a lot of resistance and feeding the resistance over and over. The second is actually letting go. It's a weird way to let go. And sometimes that's why people who have sort of this attitude of like, I'll win the lot, I'll play the lottery, I never do because no one ever wins and it's stacked against me, but it's fine, I'll play it anyway, see what happens. Often those are the people that win the lottery, right? And you always ask them, it's like, so were you playing like every Sunday religiously? And, no, I just kind of walked into a store and thought I'd buy a ticket. You know what I mean? And then they end up winning the jackpot. And you just see those guys that are out there like constantly, they come in every Thursday and they spend $200 on scratch-its and lottery tickets and they're doing it for years and they never win because they're making it a job to win. You see what I'm saying? She's not making it a job. So she doesn't have the complete belief in it, the complete 100% confidence that she's going to win this Visa lottery, but she's also not feeding any kind of real intense resistance into it either. She's not putting up a huge wall against it. She's kind of just shrugging her shoulder going, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to do it anyway and see what happens. You see what I'm saying? And with that attitude, that's like a perfect neutral attitude. Because you said she was being very negative towards it, but my feeling from your comment at least is that she wasn't very negative towards it. She was very neutral towards the outcome. And in a weird paradoxical kind of way, her not believing it was going to happen actually helped her to be neutral about it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's sometimes these are fine points, and I can see why they can be confusing and a little bit frustrating or don't make that much sense, but they are fine points. But that's kind of what I see that happening there. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And on the point of building your belief muscle, just by practicing manifesting and just playing around with it a little bit, okay? And not being so tied to the outcome. You can't be so tied to the outcome. And it's okay to sometimes step back from your biggest manifestations, your biggest desires, which are the ones that, you know, to the universe, it's all the same. A button or a castle, like Abraham Hicks says, it's all the same to the universe. We're the ones that make it complicated. You know, we have our little sort of stuff that we want, and then we have our huge stuff, but it's only huge in our minds because we give it the meaning of being huge. And that is huge resistance right there. You make it huge, you're actually putting up huge resistance. So huge obstacles in your way. It's gotta be on the same level of wanting to manifest a cup of coffee or a parking spot. You know, that's where you're trying to get to. You want to let go of it to that extent and play with it. Be playful about it and go like, oh, this will be interesting to manifest this thing or this person back. Let's see if I can do it. Let's play a little game, all right? Challenge the universe to a little game. Show me what's possible, come on. And have that kind of attitude about it. And then you'll see things happening. So in that spirit, on that point, actually, the next comment, which is from Joy Bells, is a fun one, right? Because she was being playful. So, this is in response to a video I did, which was your focus activates it. I did that a while back. And in the video, just a little context here, you know, I challenged people to play a little game. I said, hey, why don't you visualize like a yellow car? For a couple of days, just for a couple of minutes every day, just close your eyes and visualize a yellow car, and you know, which is like not a very common car color that you see out there, and then see what happens. Like you'll start to see yellow cars, or people will talk about yellow cars, or you'll see them on TV and in magazines, on the internet. You know, you'll dream about them. Suddenly yellow cars will just pop up everywhere for you, right? And so she did this, right? And I'll read you her comment. It's pretty fun. Hey Tarkan, I tried the yellow car focus, and on the next day, I saw 3 yellow cars within seconds of each other. Now I see yellow cars everywhere. But, there's always a but, even. But I started to think, well, yellow cars are more common than I thought, as I'm seeing a ton of school buses and cabs, etc. So, but here's the thing. Did you think they were more common than you thought before you started this exercise? I find that really interesting, right? It's only after you did the exercise and then noticed yellow cars everywhere that you thought, well, I guess they're way more common than I thought. Ah, there's a little something to be learned there, because it's not that you necessarily conjured up all these yellow cars. What you were doing was you're putting yourself on the frequency of the yellow cars. Yes, they were there all along, but you never paid attention to them before. So you never noticed before. So it didn't occur to you. You see what I'm saying? And the same kind of thing can be applied to money and relationships and love and good health and everything that you want out there. Get yourself into the mindset of everything I want is abundant. It's there in abundance. There's an endless supply of these things in the universe. The yellow cars were always there. I just put myself on the frequency of them. I'm focusing on them in a pure way. And in a pure way means because I don't really care about seeing yellow cars. I don't need yellow cars in my life. So it was just a fun, playful thing for me to do. Therefore, I had absolutely no resistance to yellow cars not showing up. It wasn't going to devastate me if I didn't see yellow cars everywhere all of a sudden. So then I had no resistance to it. So I had a pure thought about seeing yellow cars. And then I saw them, realizing that they're abundant, they've always been there, but now I kind of go, oh, I guess they're more common than I thought. Yes, but that's true for everything that you want. Once you start getting really good at this, manifesting the bigger things, the things you've made bigger in your mind, you'll start to see that that was always there and available in abundance for you all along. That too was there all over the place. Your specific person was there all over the place. Your relationship that you want was there all over the place. Love, money, health, all the things are there in abundance. This is about training yourself into the focus of the mindset of seeing it and putting yourself on the frequency of those things, and then seeing, which was true all along, that they've always been there. All right? In vast supply. And by the way, I think school buses are orange. But anyway, that's point of contention. No, I'm kidding. So, but let's continue because it gets better. So she actually focused herself into seeing yellow cars, saw that there are tons of yellow cars, which she manifested in terms of putting herself on the frequency of yellow cars, and then goes, well, that's too common though. Instead of realizing that actually, yes, it's more common than she thought, but see, she hadn't been on the frequency of that before, trained herself into the frequency of it, and then had the interpretation of, well, I guess they're more common, so I'll pick something less common, which then also became more common. So I started to think yellow cars are more common than I thought, so I started focusing on pink cars. Listen to what happens. I started focusing on pink cars, the most unlikely color. I don't think I've seen any in real life. So first I saw a purplish, kind of pinkish car, but I was thankful for it. a couple of days later, I saw pink decals and writing on a lot of cars, and then literally the words pink on a car, and I was thankful for that. So now pink cars and the color pink in relation to cars is becoming common for her now. And the words pink on a car, I was thankful for that. A day or so later, I saw the most beautiful pearlescent Chrysler SUV. It was so gorgeous. It was a gorgeous, glistening light pink. I nearly lost it on the road. I'm glad you didn't. You're driving and I'm gonna get blamed for that. Guy Tarkon on YouTube made me crash my car into a tree. I nearly lost it on the road. Later that day, I saw another pink car. Not as pretty, but definitely pink. Next morning, a pink bus goes by me. This is even more unlikely than a pink car. Now it's a bus. Who's ever seen a pink bus? I haven't seen a pink bus. But if you focus on pink buses, you'll probably start seeing pink buses around every corner. They've always been there, folks. So next morning, a pink bus goes by me. And then yesterday, I saw a hot pink sports car in a dream. So now she's dreaming about pink sports cars. So they're showing up everywhere in writing, in her dream, on the street. And today, I saw the most beautiful, true hot pink and black BMW with the words Pinky on the license plate. I followed it for a few blocks. I hope they weren't scared of you following them around. Followed it for a few blocks with my mouth ajar. I'm trying to picture that too, that's pretty funny. And pulled up to the girl to tell her how perfect her car was. And just like that, I believe it all. You see what I'm saying? She didn't need to believe that yellow cars were common. She didn't need to believe that pink cars were common. In fact, when she decided to switch to focusing on pink cars, she didn't have the belief or the evidence of that being readily available for her to see or manifest at all. She even said, I don't think I'd ever seen a pink car before. So you see, she didn't have to go into it with like 100% belief, 100% absolute certainty that pink cars are out there and I'm going to see pink cars, right? And just playing with it and just being playful with it caused her to see these things and caused her to have an experience of seeing the evidence of her focus coming back to her, being reflected back to her through the mirror of the third dimensional reality. She started putting herself on the frequency of what she was envisioning without any resistance towards it, without needing it to happen, wanting it to happen because it was fun and playful, approaching it from that childlike, kind of open-minded, playful, relaxed, chilled out sort of perspective, allowed her to have this amazing experience where she was showing herself just how powerful she was, how powerful her imagination and her focus really are. You see what I'm saying? So you don't need 100% certainty, okay? So then that demonstrates it, okay? But as a result of being playful in this way and manifesting little things like that you don't have a lot of resistance about for a little while, you build that belief muscle. You see what I'm saying? But you don't need it to be there. So, let's see here. I'm trying to see, I think I'll get to some of these in another video, because this one's already getting a little bit long and I want to wrap it up. But here's another one from 𝗙ص𝗿. I think I pronounced that correctly, I hope. Who writes, okay, I'm trying to manifest my specific person back to my life from the last year and from the last 1 or 2 months. I've been focusing on myself these days, not obsessing to attract her, but please tell me, why is it not working? Because I've done it all. I've done all the things to attract her. Maybe she is too close and I'm trying to let go of the outcome or my desire. I'm open to my best, but I just want to know why it's not working and what's going on behind the scenes. So I just want to point out to you, and I wanted to read this one because listen to what you're writing here and listen to the sentiment behind this. You say you've focused on yourself and you're not obsessing to attract her, and then you immediately turn around and you go, so why isn't it working? I need it to work. When is it going to happen? I need to know what's going on behind the scenes. I need to see the evidence of this coming together. Because, why isn't it happening? But I've let go, and I'm focusing on myself, and I'm not obsessing about her. But why isn't it coming? Do you see this? You know, and I'm kind of teasing you a little bit here, but it's important to see this. You need to start looking at yourselves when you write some of these comments. You know, so I can see it immediately because I'm a third party. You see what I'm saying? It's not that I'm some wise genius guru. It's that I'm not as emotionally involved in your situation as you are. So I have a different vantage point on it. I have a different perspective on it, all right? I have a non-emotional perspective on it. So I can look at it and go, well, hello, man. It's obvious that you're not focusing on yourself. It's obvious that you are still obsessed about her. And it's obvious that you're only focusing on yourself and trying to be joyous in your life and doing joyous things and building a happy life without her only for the sake of getting her back. So you think being happy is a tool for getting your specific person back in your life. And it's not. Being happy and loving yourself is only a tool for being happy and loving yourself. And only from that perspective, from that pure perspective of really not being obsessed and really focusing on yourself, can you then attract her and other people and other wanted, awesome circumstances and situations into your life. But the paradox here, the thing that I know trips a lot of people up, and it's okay, and I'm not getting on your case, but I really want you to see this, and all of you out there watching this with the same kind of sentiment, all right? It goes back to kind of what Ira was saying. Well, maybe I should obsess some more because it's not happening otherwise. Or I've let go, and then, you know, I've let go, so why isn't anything happening? Because I've let go, so something will happen. So you're still obsessed about the outcome. You're still really, really, really tied to the outcome. You're still making your happiness and your joy in life and feeling good dependent on this person coming into your life. You see what I'm saying? So I can tell right there that you're not really focusing on yourself and you haven't really stopped obsessing about her, because that's your whole comment, is about how much you're obsessing about her. Okay? Just see that. I need you to see that. And you need to see that, because once you do, you can go, and it's not like you've done anything wrong here, okay? You haven't done anything wrong necessarily. And don't look at it from that perspective. You're learning, all right? And that's why you come to people like me and watch videos like this, so that you can get a better understanding and perspective on this kind of stuff. But, you know, just look at your comment again and tell me, really, from a very, try to get into a very objective state of mind for a minute and tell me, do you really see yourself not obsessing? Do you really see yourself focusing on yourself there without being tied to the outcome in any way, shape, or form? Okay? And then look at a comment like Ira's and see the difference there. And look at a comment like Joy's and see the difference there. How are they approaching these things, right? In terms of being playful, in terms of really making their lives about themselves. And then going, you know what? I'm so happy now that I don't even need that person. I don't even think about that person, okay? So that's the place you want to get to. If you're really not obsessing about yourself, if you're really not, or about her, and if you're really focusing on yourself and making yourself the best version that you can be, the best version of you that you can be, and really focusing on making your life the best kind of life that you can have without needing her to be there, then you wouldn't even feel the need to write comments like this. You see what I'm saying? So you're shifting and you're on your way there. And it's good that you're asking these kinds of questions and you're looking at it. And it's even good that you're feeling a little frustrated right now, because that shows you, the frustration shows you, okay, what direction you're going. All right, because if you have this kind of frustration and these negative emotions, that's a communication from your inner being that the thoughts you're having are moving you away from your target and not towards it. Okay, so chill out some more and really focus on yourself, and you know, and take a look at like the comment from Ira and see what she's been doing. Okay, and that's why I like these kind of mixes of comments, because some people are doing really well and some people are still kind of over here, and it's not like anyone is better than anybody else. It's just people are at a different stage of their development with this thing. All right, and so take a look at those kinds of things and really see like the sentiment and really sense what's the focus and the intent behind how, say, someone like Ira is focusing on herself and making her life more joyous without this person in her life, without needing that person in her life, and how you've been kind of doing it, okay? So don't give up, but do give up on the resistance, do give up on the obsession, and really only focus on yourself and and make your life about on feeling good for the sake of just feeling good and focusing on yourself, not for the sake of making something happen with your specific person, because that is still resistance. Do you see what I'm saying? That's still going to slow you down. All right? So, thank you for all the comments, guys. I really appreciate them. There's already like a 45-minute video. Well, I guess the comments will take a while, right? There's a few comments there. So, yes, thanks for watching. And if you are watching for the first time and you like the cut of my jib and you haven't subscribed, then please hit subscribe now. If you'd like to leave me a tip, a couple dollars donation, there's links down below for Cash App and PayPal donations. Also in the description box, there's a link for the Facebook group. If you want to head over there and hang out with some cool like-minded people, hang out with your tribe and other manifestors and other students, then please go over there and join that. And if you want some coaching, of course, that's always available. The link is for that coaching page, and the info to my website is also in the description box. So thank you guys for watching, as always, and I'm 𝗙Con, and I'll see you next time. Happy manifesting. Bye-bye.